All right. So, much like the previous series where did your biography, and we did a bunch of lab series, and then there was a project. Same thing again. So we just finished the interest site lab, or not, the responsive bootstrap site lab series. So we've made kind of a website that was multiple pages, and now it's time for you to do it on your own. So uh, I'm going to give you this week to do it. It's not due this week, although you should try and get it done this week if you can help it. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get it done in a week's time, but try to do it if you can. But if you don't get it done, don't stress. Um, you just don't want all this to build up on you. Plus, I get a bunch at the end, and that's not cool. So, anyway, what I want you to do is basically make a website much in the same way that we did before. So, and the subject matter should be an interest, whatever interest you have. So that could be like you're really into a specific game, or you're really into games in general. I've had a lot of those. It could be what your major is, like, oh, I'm a cybersecurity, so you can make a website about cybersecurity, or about photography, or about yeah, like I like to fly drones, so I would do like a like FPV drones, and I could do a thing about FPV drones, or I really like pizza. Because the slices are cone shaped. I could do a website all about different kinds of pizza, but basically it should be something that you're familiar with, so that way you're not like scrambling and trying to come up with context. It's not a report. It should be stuff that you know, right? So if it's an interest, it's something that you know. So it could be whatever you want. Sometimes people will do like a PSA, like about SPCA. You know, a lot of people are like nutty about adopting animals and stuff. I actually foster dogs myself, so maybe I guess I'm one of those nuts. Uh, whatever you're cuckoo over, make me a believer, right? So we all have nerdy things, and I think this is a good opportunity for you to kind of show that. I like the nerdy stuff you guys do. So, as you can see, I do nerdy things too. So anyway, what I want you to do is come up with an interest, and this is what it should have in it. All right. So, in your interest website, should have a homepage and at least 2 subpages. You can do more, but there should be at least 2. So you're going to end up with 3 total pages. A homepage that's index.html, and then whatever you want your subpages to be. Okay. Now, in that website, it must use Bootstrap and Bootstrap components. So basically, it should be responsive and use the Bootstrap framework, just like we did before, and include any of the components that you want. Now, if you don't really like any of them, you don't really have to like jam them in there just to fill it up. But I would use the nav bar, because I feel like that's a pretty easy that you're going to need. Just clean it up a whole lot and don't put much in it. If you don't really like the way that it's formatted, just change it up. Okay. So bootstrap components, subpages, the nav bar in it needs to have a nav bar. It should be a working site, meaning like if I click on one page, it should bring me over there. And if I click on another page in the nav bar, it should bring me there. Like the buttons should function to go from the different pages, in order to go from one to the other. Okay. It should have, it should be well written, not have any issues. It should have actual content, so not just the e publius unum. Oh, that's Latin. Not the lorem ipsum. Together we're united or something. But so so it shouldn't have the lorem ipsum. It should be actual text and actual images. I don't care if you need to use photos off the internet, I understand, but just make sure that they work for what you have and that they're not really super low poly. I think that is. Yeah. Make sure you have make sure you have a cohesive design. You don't necessarily have to use font awesome per se, although if you want to use it, that's fine. But you should be utilizing Google Fonts to make sure that your fonts are not just generic default ones, and make sure you write robust CSS to format all your components, like color and sizing and all that other stuff. Okay, so yeah, and I think that's it. All right, so yeah, you got this week to do it. Should go well enough. Good luck, guys. I've been really impressed with your work so far. You're doing really well, so I'm excited to see what you guys come up with this time. When you are done, make sure that you also do post it on the discussion board. Just zip it up like you gave it to me and just pop it on there, and then people can just download it and look at them. Yeah, so your guys' biography projects I thought turned out really awesome. So, yeah. All right, so good luck.